Do you believe in like aliens and stuff like that?
I'm going to say that I do, but only because the universe is so big. So for me to like not believe in aliens, I'm like, that's pretty close-minded. Like the universe is infinite. To think that there's no other intelligent life out there. I think they probably know we're here. And I think they probably used to interact like back in the times of the pyramids and stuff like that. And I think based on like what's going on now, if there are aliens, they want nothing to do with us. Like they're probably like looking at us and like, these primitive freaking retards, like they are not coming to visit us anytime soon.
Yeah, so kind of like the ancient aliens theory.
Yeah. I definitely think at some point in time, aliens came here. I don't think they come here anymore. Yeah. But I think at some point there were actual interactions with aliens like here, way back in the pyramid days and stuff like that.
There's lots of like mythology about that, which I find well interesting. Stuff about like the Sumerians, which I think was like the first proper civilization on Earth. And
stuff like that. When the Sumerians and like the Mayan calendar, stuff like that, how it's like predicting events. And then how you've got like these cave drawings of like the same things, but they're spread throughout the world. It's like that's not going to happen unless they all saw something and interacted with something. And then like I remember I watched like a whole YouTube documentary about how the pyramids, there's no way they could have built those like without some kind of like extra technology, because it wouldn't have happened. Like they're so perfectly symmetrical and stuff like that. Like weird stuff where it's like, I don't want to go out there and be like, yeah, there are aliens, but I think that because of just stuff like that and how big the universe is, I'm like, I'd have to be stupid to say there are not aliens. Like there's got to be something.
It's kind of an interesting conversation because I think either way, it's like mind-blowing. So on the one hand, you've got, like you said, we can't be the only things in the universe because it's so massively big. On the other hand, like, what if we are?
That is a good point. What if we're, for whatever reason? Oh, have you ever looked into vitalism or whatever it's called?
No, what's that?
So it's like this, it's gone now, but back in the times of like the Renaissance days and stuff, this was something that people believed that the reason human life exists is because of this theory called vitalism. They think it's basically like there's this special spiritual property that gives life energy what it is and allows things to be. And so scientists, they were like, well, there's got to be more to it. So what they started doing was trying to recreate the conditions that Earth would have been in when life started. Because if you take out religion and you just look at science and like how, with the, what was it, like when the Earth was first made and you just had all this water or whatever, and then like meteors fell into the water and like had like all these like globules like start attaching themselves and like making things. So it's like scientifically it makes sense, but at the same time scientists were like, well, let's take all those ingredients that would have been present on Earth at this time and put them in they put it like in this controlled environment, and we're like shocking it and like making it seem like the conditions that would have happened at the dawn of Earth, and they couldn't get life to form.
Wow.
Like something very special and specific happened at that time that basically allowed everything to just happen on its own. It's almost like if you wanted to believe that the universe was sentient or believe in like a God or something like that, it's like, what if it was just, everything was kind of set up and doing its own thing, and then just someone just put that one little thing that that one little touch, and then everything just expanded on its own from there, just chaos and just went nuts. And I think scientists said the only way that it could have, I'm paraphrasing here because I read about this years ago, but it was like the only way that this could have happened back then would be if there was like something called TNA. I forget what it stands for, some kind of nucleic acid or whatever. But it's like you've got RNA and you've got DNA. There definitely could have been RNA strands, but they couldn't have formed into the DNA needed to make the perfect copies to continue to multiply and create things. but they're like, but there could have possibly been this other chemical called like TNA that might have been there and might have been able to bind the two RNA strips together and make the DNA, and then it just exploded from there. So that's what they were trying to guess, but they're like, it's either that or something magical happened that day that just let everything happen. And it's like, maybe there is this entire universe and there's just one tiny little planet Earth where it worked.
Yeah. No, it's insane to think about, isn't it? It's mind.
It is. It's like you said, no matter what you do, you could either say aliens are real or they're not, and we're the only people. Either way, like, it's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, what you were just talking about then, was it vitalism, did you say?
Yeah. So that was, the vitalism was just the idea that life energy there's more to it than science can explain. There's this spiritual aspect that lets life be what it is and lets people be what they are.
Yeah, so there's like a missing link where it makes me think of have you heard of simulation theory?
No, what is that?
So simulation theory, Elon Musk talks about this quite a lot, but it basically goes like this. So if it's possible for humans to create a virtual reality, and it is possible, right? Like there's virtual realities right now where you can go in there and you're in another virtual world. Mm-hmm. I actually say that the way technology is going, at some point in the future, they're going to be able to make a virtual reality that is indistinguishable from actual reality. So if that's going to happen at some point, who's to say that what we're in right now isn't one of these virtual realities? And what Elon Musk says is that the odds are actually that we aren't in, they call it base reality. It's like the number one reality. The odds are that we're in one of many, many, many virtual realities.
Holy cow.
It made me think about it when you said, it's like someone just almost pressing go on Earth and then seeing what happens.
That kind of makes it sound like that's what's going on.
Yeah, and they do.
I don't know.
They do it for research purposes. So say you were a human and you wanted to kind of work out what would happen to society and humanity in certain situations. You could set up a load of these simulated worlds and then run little testers to see how it goes. Like, for example, how would 2020 society react to Donald Trump being president, or a pandemic coming here, or how would they deal with climate change in the future? And it's kind of I don't know.
It's almost like it makes you wonder for sure, like what's going on. How do you watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode with the car batteries?
Just remind me. I need a bit more information.
So it kind of has what to do with what you're saying. It was like Rick made which one's the scientist? That's Rick, right?
Yeah, Rick's the scientist.
So he made this car battery, and what runs the car battery is a world inside the battery that's a whole functioning planet.
Oh, I have seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, and then so the car battery dies and they have to go into the battery to figure out why it died, and it was because everyone stopped working because the scientists in that world made a car battery or something that works on a simulated world where people are running it. So then to fix that, they had to go into that one. And then there was a scientist in there that created. So it's like, it just keep making worlds inside worlds. So it's like, who's to say we're not in one of these? Like, what if we're just somebody's car battery, in another dimension? It's just it really makes you wonder.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It is. I heard a good one the other day where it's. I love getting into conspiracy theories, but in the whole virtual reality simulation thing, they say the stars aren't stars; they're just little holes that have been poked in the container so we can breathe. And it's people.